the wee last puff of my smoky pen there, damn it. Hello and welcome along to the Rangers Rabble podcast. Match reaction, Rangers 1, Hearts 1. I'm Martin and tonight I am joined by the usual suspect, Kerr. Kerr, how are you?
I'm okay, Martin. Yourself?
Not bad, mate, not bad. And for the very first time, Mr. William Scott. William, how are you?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
I'm great, mate. Doing your wee kind of porn pose there. That was nice. I liked it.
The velvet background, mate. It helps.
He's covering that weight patch.
You talking about?
Right, before we get into the reaction, a wee bit of housekeeping. Firstly, I'm doing the Big Ibrox Sleep Out on the 27th of November. So the link is in the description for the Just Giving if you want to help towards that. I've set a target of 150 quid. So I'm between everybody that watches, I'm sure we can throw in a couple of pound here and there and get us up to 150 quid for the RYDC. We are also doing a giveaway, and I'm so glad that Kerr's wearing that top. If you want a wee bit of modelling, please, Kerr.
I can't model.
You can't model. He's not got the face for it, has he? We are giving away that. We are giving away that very top, the 150th anniversary. All you've got to do is follow our pinned tweet. The link for that is also in the description. Right, Rangers 1, Hearts 1. This conversation could probably go one of many ways. So what I'll do is, William, right into the deep end, mate. How are you feeling after that?
Disappointed, mate. I thought we played really well. But to lose that goal in the manner that we did after playing so well was pretty poor. I've not seen it back. I've literally, as I said to you before we come on live there, I've literally just walked in the house, so I'll get to see it later on, and I'll hear what you two guys have got to say about it as well. Obviously, seeing it live in the stadium is completely different to seeing it on the TV. But I happened right in front of me. I thought it was poor from McGregor. First of all, he's tried to punch it, and I think it's the wet surface and wet balls just kind of glided across his gloves and could have landed them more favourably for the Hearts player just to nod it in at the back post. But other than that, I thought we played really well, but we had enough chances to finish the game way before that Hearts goal. Way before. I mean, I think Morelos literally just about a minute before it had missed an absolute sitter. Aribo hitting the Roof hitting the post as well.
It's really it's difficult, Kerr, because you draw one each with Hearts at home, and regardless of where they are on the table, you're never happy with a draw at Ibrox, no matter who it is. And I'm pretty sure there'll be folk in the comments who are probably angry, raging. There'll be discussions about Tav, about this, about subs, about this. All we had to do was take one or two a day chances. That's all we had to do, and it would be a completely different conversation.
We score the second goal, the game's finished. But as long as you don't score that second, Hearts are always going. Doesn't matter who you're playing, they're always going to be in it. And McGregor made a mistake at the end, which he doesn't usually do, but he made the mistake. They score for it, and I mean, you look at it two ways. You look at it pint half empty, a pint half full, don't you? And it's like, I thought we played really well. I thought the first half was probably some of the best stuff we played this season. We just couldn't take the chances. The second half, we done okay at the first half. Yet the substitutions changed the game, in my opinion. But I'm only going to go into that.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, you score the goals, you get the win. We didn't score the second goal, and Hearts grew in confidence near the end of the game because they knew we might as well go for it because it's only 1-0. They got a bit of luck with the goal and they scored. So I don't see it as a bad performance or it's a point. A point's better than getting beaten. I know we're never happy, Rangers fans, but sometimes you have to look in the positive. I'm usually one in doom and gloom, but I'm actually quite happy with the performance today. So I'm not as upset as some people.
Oh, the comments are going to absolutely crucify you, man.
They always do, Martin. They always do.
Sorry, William.
I'll stay amicable.
Obviously, look, it's completely different at the stadium, William, as it is to obviously watching it on the TV. But for me, anyway, I mean, that was probably the best we've started a game this season.
Aye, I would agree, mate. But we're right up at them. We're not giving them any time in the ball. And if you look back at the game, I'll do it later on. But if you look back at the game, from memory, the first 15 to 20 minutes, we absolutely sucked the life out of Hearts. I don't even think they had a chance in the first half. I don't even think they had a shot on goal. McGregor didn't really have anything to do. But again, I said to you before we come on there, getting in 1-0 at half time and coming out and just sitting back, it's always going to kill us. And I don't know what the difference is between this season and last season, where we were just going right at teams for 90 minutes and not giving them a chance to breathe. I know you Kirk says he doesn't want to talk about the subs, but I don't think bringing Bakuna on was the best sub Gerrard's ever made. Taking Aribo and Hadji off when we're still flying was madness. But I'm sure, as you say, people in your comments will agree or they'll disagree. But it's Gerrard's a manager. I'm no.
No, none of us are, and we all pretend we know what we're talking about when we've not got a fucking clue. Right, people in the comments, please get your comments in, because I've got a funny feeling there's going to be a bit of disagreement. Christopher Rathering, why do people have names that I can't pronounce? Christopher Rather, Morelos for me has to take more accountability than McGregor. Very, very poor finishing from him today. Morelos was Hearts' best defender. Andy, come on, Andy. Tav and Morelos have spent forces that offer nothing to this team. Right, we'll go on that point, Kerr. Right, I completely and 100% disagree with that. But we'll look at Tav today. There's always this talk around Tav and Patterson. Patterson's a young boy, came through the ranks. Everybody wants to see him in the first team. So every single performance that Tavernier puts in to appease the supporters that maybe want Patterson and has to be flawless.
Why? I mean, Tavernier's been the Witten boy for the last few seasons. He's been here. How long has he been at Rangers? 6-7 years. There's always a Witten boy. Martin Tavernier's the Witten boy now. And the day he put in a couple of cross balls that were begging to put into the net, and nobody was there, or Morelos was missing, and I see people saying he was poor. He wasn't. He didn't cause a goal. He put in a few balls into the box. He was trying to drive forward. What else do you want from the guy? I mean, he's not a brilliant player. Liz, I'm going to turn and say he's world class, because if he was, he wouldn't be at Rangers. But for £250,000 we bought him for, the guy's been a superb servant for us. Gerrard made him a captain for a reason, and he led us to the league last season after being through a lot of shite with Pedro and Warburton and stuff. And he's still here. He's contributing, and he plays for the jersey, unlike other people in the team sometimes. But you can see he's happy to be at Rangers, whereas his big mate next to him, Golson, still's 50-50. I'm never going to slag Tav off, because he's one of the players, when Tav goes, you'll realise what he gives us. And I know I'm Nathan Patterson's biggest fan, but Nathan's time will come.
Kerr, can I ask you?
Why do you have to decide between the two of them?
What does Tav actually give us?
What does he not give us? He gives us assists. He gives us drive. I mean, what do you want for a right back? He was a top goal scorer last season. What more do you want for a right back?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he put one telling ball into the box today.
He put two in the day. Morelos missed
as I say to you earlier on, I'll watch the game with me later on tonight, but
I don't have to ask you, William, where you stand on the Tav passenger debate. Patterson debate.
I don't know what you want for the guy. I mean, Patterson, because on a team, say Patterson has 3 or 4 bad games in a row, they're going to jump in his back.
I don't think a lot of people were shouting about Nathan Patterson after the Hibs game. I don't think Nathan Patterson actually played potentially that good in the Hibs game.
What I remember in the first half for Scotland, Nathan Patterson was rotten.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean, against Israel? And you've got to remember, when you're playing with Rangers, you're not a brilliant player at this point in time, because you can't afford them. So we're buying guys that was at Wigan.
Maybe we're all old enough to remember Ferguson, Amoruso, and
I'm old enough to remember Gary Stevens as a right back at Rangers, and Gary Stevens was superb.
I'm probably the oldest in this chat, right? But I'm not going to reveal my age.
You probably aren't. I'll tell you that.
but it's I just want a captain that's screaming and going mental at players.
Yeah, I think the game's moved on for that.
Kerr, let him finish.
Okay.
No, I just want a captain that's screaming at players. It's see all this nicey, and I mean, get into change room, you're getting washed with Molten Brown soap now, right? Just see you later. Just fucking win the game. Then just scream at players. Remember the Rangers, was it Hearts game at Celtic in the Coca-Cola Cup final again? I think it was against Hearts, where Gaza's ran up, McCoy's ran up and scored Gaza in the back of the head. Because Gaza's made a mistake in the middle, but that's what you want, that's what you expect for Rangers. It's see all this nicey. Oh, Tav's played brilliant because you can hear him shouting. Who gives a fuck? I can hear Golson shouting more than Tav.
I just don't agree with that. Football's moved on for screaming. Because you scream doesn't mean you're a captain, doesn't mean you're doing any better. I mean, I just think you're a captain, you organise stuff, you play the way you can play, you motivate a team that way. You don't have to always shout and scream.
Well, see if you look at Craig Gordon today. Craig Gordon's the captain of Hearts, right? And he's screaming like a madman at the back, just out left, out right, style your move, go forward, guiding the team. A goalkeeper's get the best view in the park. No, I don't agree that a goalkeeper should be captain right enough, but captains need to be vocal. But I don't know.
There's 11 captains apart, in my opinion, William, not just one.
No, I agree with you, but it's. I'm not about to start bashing Tav because I've had it for ages. He actually didn't play that bad today. But
I just think he's a scapegoat for sometimes he's not even that bad and he's still a scapegoat. He's just the name everybody picks. Like years ago, people used to pick and certain players at Rangers. I mean, Ian Ferguson used to get it when he played with Rangers, and he wasn't always bad, but he got it. And there's other players that get it as well. And Tav's for some reason the whipping boy, but we'll agree to disagree. I tell you
what. William's first appearance from the pod and he's already starting arguments. We all normally get along here, William. Let's move on.
It's all about opinions.
Let's move on to something that we can probably all agree on, Kerr, and that's the performance for most of the game of John Lundstram. I mean, it's safe to say there was a lot of supporters that were, and we've discussed this before, maybe not quite on the bandwagon with regards to Lundstram, but that's kind of 2 or 3 games now that, you know, he's looked apart.
I think he's been really good the last few games, and I know you get a bit of abuse at the start, but you know yourself, you come from a different league. I know you came from England, but coming up in another country with your family and stuff, it takes you time to settle. It doesn't matter who you are. And he's playing a different type of football as well, for going for Sheffield United, coming to Rangers, he's got more of the ball and stuff like that. So I think he's played really well, and I have to say, I think he plays better when he's more central. He does when he's shunted out to the right or the left, and I think you've seen that today when Davis going, he gets shunted out to the right, and he doesn't get involved as much. But I thought in the first half, being in the centre, he was putting his body in, he was driving across the park. He always wants to make a forward pass, is what I like about John Lundstram. He doesn't like to go side to side, he always tries to pull a forward ball and keep things moving. I think with him and Hadji and Aribo worked really well.
For yourself, William, then the day, obviously you were there, Lundstram.
He's outstanding. I said at the start of the season that I thought we'd get player of the year. Started off very slow, obviously, and once you get more time in the ball, up here, you're harassed and you're pushed every time you get the ball. But and it's Kerr's right, in the last maybe 3-4 games, he's been absolutely outstanding. I think the last 3 home games I've been, he's had man of the match, sponsors man of the match, and his goal today was just. Everybody was round about me was screaming for him to put his laces through the put, but he just placed it into the corner. But aye, outstanding, absolutely brilliant. He's going to be a hard person to take out the team just now.
Yeah, and we'll come a wee bit later on. We'll come on to who can play in the midfield, kind of with him. If Davis and Kamara can play that midfield free, which I don't think they can, but we'll come to that. Kerr, obviously, we spoke to Nick from the Sheffield United Way podcast.
Yeah. Who
said that under no circumstances should Lundstram be allowed to shoot. I think that's maybe that's a wee, a bit different coaching. You can be a bit of a different player.
To be honest with you, I've been shouting at the telly. I didn't finish what the phone I was watching, but I was still shouting at the telly to players. That's what we don't do enough of, shooting. And I think, like William said, he struck it great and he bent it into the corner. I know you read online, you thought Gordon might have saved it, but when you look at it again, it's right in the corner. Gordon just missed it.
It's not right in the corner.
It does if he bent.
Gordon should do better.
Gordon, because I was right behind. I think Gordon could actually get his hand to it.
He did get a hand.
The power he put into it, but
aye.
That's the type of player Lundstram is. He can shoot. He's strong. I just like his drive from middle of the park. And if more of our players maybe shot at times, we might score more goals. I mean, I've got a stat here saying today we had 27 shots a day, 10 in target and 1 goal. Do you know what I mean?
It's frightening. And you score 1 goal.
And we drew. So it just shows you they're not taking our chances.
Aye. We'll all come on to that. I just want to finish off the kind of first half. I think, William, you said you didn't really see it. So I'll take it to Kerr because I know that Kerr disagrees with me. And people in the comments just say whether you agree or not. You disagree with everybody because you're a dick.
I disagree with myself.
Aribo challenge. I've only seen it from one camera angle, and the RTV cameras aren't great. But for me, he goes in with a straight leg, studs up, and catches him. There's not a great deal of malice in it, and it's a mistimed challenge. But it looks to me like that should have been a red card.
I don't agree. I think it was a yellow, but I know where you're coming from, and probably with another referee, he might have been sent off. But to me, he just mistimed it. If he would put more malice in it, I've intentionally done it. It's a straight red, but he's not a type of player. And I think the referee have to take into consideration with tackles. Whereas I've been Liam Boyce went into the Rangers playing the first time. I think it was Golson. He knew what he was trying to do. He put his
That was a yellow.
he put his studs right on him, but Rebo just misjudged it, and he stuck his leg out. Aye, but it's not a red card. I mean, the boy got up straight away as soon as he got booked, so it just shows he wasn't that injured.
I know, but listen, Aribo wasn't that injured for the Porteous challenge. Porteous never really caught him, but that was a stone wall red card.
But
any day.
Porteous flew.
I've not seen the Aribo one, but Porteous was just.
No, listen, there was far more.
He should have got a pilot's license after how he was flying.
Listen, I'm not comparing the two tackles. The Porteous one was a complete leg breaker, William. But Aribo's, it looks to me anyway. Listen, I could be totally wrong. He's went in, studs up, and he's went into the boy's leg. So for me, a challenge like that over the ball is a red card.
If your studs are higher up over the ball, then you're leaving the referee with a decision to make. But if I remember right, did the referee not play advantage at that point?
I think he did, aye. That was the only reason I knew he wasn't going to send him off, because he played advantage.
I mean, when you look at football players, but in general, when you're going for a tackle, 9 out of 10 times your studs are going to be raised. You can't go on with your foot pointed down, you end up breaking your ankle.
Well, if you look at John Lundstram went in for a 50-50 and right in the halfway line, he went in with his feet up. He also done that against Hibs as well, but he won it.
It's very difficult going with your studs facing downwards onto
the. It's the same with jumping with your arm. You need to keep your arms down. You're jumping. It's almost impossible.
Hey, we'll agree to disagree, mate. You're kind of pissing everybody off today.
I know, my wife's. I've waited to get in the stairs.
CGM, look, it was a yellow card, cool your jets. Thomas H, not a red card, he's going for the ball. And Andy, Aribo should have been sent off 100%. So there you go. See, look, Andy agrees with me, so that means that I'm right.
No, two agree with me.
That doesn't matter. William, for your perspective at the game, the refereeing performance overall,
very inconsistent, mate. It was some of the tackles that were flying in, and it was just letting the ball the game flow. It was just, I mean, I think he book Goldson for was it Balogun? Sorry, get booked as well, wasn't it? And I don't think the Balogun one, from my point of view, I don't think the Balogun one was
never touched him.
It looked very, very. I think Goldson one was gold. He lifted his arms up and he body checked the boy, but I thought he was very, very inconsistent. And I think I said this to you before as well. I'm not too sure until I see it back, but I think he actually booked Harry Cochrane, and it was the wrong player that he booked because Kamara was screaming. Was it Cowie the referee? Wasn't it?
No, it was Robertson, was it not?
Robertson.
Sorry. Kamara was screaming, telling him he's booked the wrong player. If you watch it back, you'll see Kamara doing it just in his face shouting, or Kamara was wanting somebody else booked for a very similar challenge. But I thought he was very, very inconsistent, to be honest. And I don't know. As I say, at the game, there was a lot of moans and groans. Let's just say.
Curry Winter referee was shocking. Constant fouling or pulling of the jerseys, and he just ignored it. And that's what it seemed to me, look, in that first half. And obviously I want Rangers to win because I'm a Rangers fan and I love Rangers. But that was another reason that I was sitting there with about 5 minutes to go, going to just win this game so we can talk about the refereeing decisions without it sounding like sour grapes. But there was 2 or 3 occasions where a Hearts player could have easily been sent off for 2 yellow cards.
Easily, I mean,
Boyce should be sent off.
Cochrane pulled Aribo's jersey 3 times in the one move, and never even get booked. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely get booked in the 80th minute or something as well.
75th minute he get booked. And he was actually, when he was playing Devon, it was like he was wanting confrontation with somebody. I mean, I don't know who he thinks he is. He came for the Australian B League, so he's always trying to make a name for himself. But
you seen that with Boyce as well. I think the game had kicked off maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and Boyce has been barging into, was it Barisic right at the very start of the game as well? You could see Hearts were just trying to ruffle them up.
Yeah, Boyce never liked us, but even when he played Ross County, never liked us. You know what I mean? But no, the referee's not great. But the referees in Scotland aren't great. But you know yourself, you don't want to speak about a refs and blame them for dropping points. Because at the end of the day, if you take our chances, that doesn't happen. But that was the end of the day.
See Morelos scores that goal. We're having a completely different conversation.
What one?
Well, the one I think it's Roof that slipped him in, and he's just I don't know how he's obviously that's the
when he
end of the season,
slides
but
in.
Even if he just slides straight, he goes in the net. But no, everything he just scuffs everything, Alfie, doesn't he? It's like see if he has time to think, he struggles with it today.
He struggles. There was one in the first half as well. The ball landed on the back post as well, and he's hit a shot. It's been by the near post as well, the far post. Sorry, and I think any other last season, for example, I think he'd have scored that.
Aye.
So what then, Williams, going on with Morelos? Then is this just a bad game, a wee bit of bad run of form?
No, I think Morelos' all-round game has massively improved, but I don't think we're playing fast-flowing footballs, but we did last season. We're creating more chances. If you look at Morelos the past couple of weeks, there's not been a lot of chances for him anyway. But again, big high balls into the box. I don't think he's always going to win headers, is he?
No, but there was plenty
Depends
of chances
quality,
today, wasn't there? There was plenty of chances along the day today, Kerr, that any other day he's easily got a hat-trick today. So can we just put it down to a poor day in front of goal?
I think it's about maybe a bit of confidence. I think sometimes he does scuff. He's not a penalty box striker. He never has been. He likes to do a lot of his work outside the box and use his strength and stuff like that. He's more of a hold-up player. But even the day I thought he was struggling with that. He was okay. You always have him in the park because having him in the park is better than having him off the park. But I think he has to improve in his finishing. I mean, our last 9 games we've played and we've only scored 15 goals this season. It's not a lot compared to what we've been doing. And I know one of the big reasons for that for me is Ryan Kent. I know he was getting a lot of abuse before he went off, but you miss Ryan Kent really badly.
Miss Ryan Jack really badly.
Ryan Jack's becoming fucking Messi since he's been injured. He's getting better and better and better. I mean, I like Ryan Jack, but he's not going to come back and just suddenly turn overnight into your team. He does a job really well. That's what he does. But if you can't score goals, he's not really going to improve that side of it because he's never a goal scorer. He's not a goal scorer, Ryan Jack. We need our strikers to take a chance. And I think the problem's been consistency. He's constantly changing the 3 players up front, and that's because maybe COVID issues, injuries. Zakala, I'm not seeing a lot of folks saying he's not Rangers class, but you can't judge a boy. He's just here. Atan missing, which is a big miss because he's something different for us, which I was the reason why I didn't want him to go. And Roof has to play through the middle. Roof has to play through the middle.
I completely agree with you. But the problem you've got then is, because I agree Roof has to play, but I do agree that Roof can play out in the wing, William, because I'll always say I think Roof's a phenomenal player, and I think he's at a level above our league.
100%. He's moved. See, we actually just watched his movement off the ball. Did he hit the post today as well? Because I think that was at the Scotland.
Cracking save by Gordon. Cracking save.
But it was. But see, if you look at, obviously it's at the other side of the stadium. But if you look at his movement for that as well, I don't know who slipped the ball through him, but his movement to actually just get through and to actually have a shot on goal was unreal.
Yeah, his movement's superb because you don't think he's quick, but he's actually not that slow. But it's just his movement. He's like Hadji's a bit, maybe 2 steps ahead of other players in the park, and that's sometimes a problem for them because they're thinking they're way ahead of maybe somebody that's got the ball, and that doesn't work sometimes at Rangers because they've got no great players in the same wavelength.
Right, we've got Foldsy, William. I think Morelos is finished at Ibrox. It's time to go. He's not the same beast he was 2 years ago. He always looks like he can't be arsed moving. I don't agree with that.
I know I huffed and I puffed there when I read that comment there, but I said the same the day. Morelos looks as if he can't be bothered anymore, right? But I'll ask the guy who put the comment in. Who do you put in? Who goes in place of Morelos?
You probably through the middle at the Roof.
But Morelos drops deep to hold the ball up to spread. See, somebody I know he's missed three glaring opportunities. Somebody's passing, going from one side of the park to the other, but was brilliant today. But I don't know. He's not finished. I think that's everybody's entitled to their opinion. I respect their opinion, but to come out with a statement like he's finished is a bit bold.
It's not so much he's finished. Maybe he's just meaning his times at Rangers. His time at Rangers
is
finished. Maybe just needs to move on.
I think the comments said that his time's up, but I completely disagree with it.
Well, Kerr, do we only play Morelos for the potential transfer fee? Morelos is getting a bit of a doing right now. Just to clarify the Morelos conversation, William said it, and I've said it before. His all-round game for me has improved tenfold. I think he's so much better at taking the ball in, playing a pass. He's just struggling to score goals. He's on 99 goals for us. He's one away from 100 goals for the football club, so he's not a bad striker.
Spanish though.
That's what he's missing, a bit of finishing.
Is Gerrard only playing him for the potential transfer fee while he's out of form?
No, don't be silly. I just think
Morelos. Hey, don't fucking call me silly. I'm just bringing you the comment.
I think Morelos, if you've got my fit Morelos, you've got to play him because he takes like you say, all games improved. Does give a ball away now and again, right enough, which he has to improve on. I know he comes deeper, maybe too deep at times because he gets the ball, there's nobody through the middle. I think he's missing Ryan Kent, to be fair, because I think Ryan Kent made a lot of room for him. And I think other players are missing Ryan Kent. And last season with the consistency in the team, maybe that's how players were scoring goals more. This season with the amount of changes and the amount of consistency with different 11s, sometimes players don't like that either. So, no, but he's not finished. Alfie always get goals.
His attitude's changed. No, his attitude changed. His whole demeanour's changed because he's not as angry as anymore. I
think maybe when asked to improve in that, William, because he's not sitting in the stand as much. But I also think deep down he maybe wanted to move away and then materialise.
He probably does want to move away, but
just other players.
I can't imagine he's going forward without Morelos in the team. To be honest, I would have him playing in the team every week. He's not scoring goals, but I would rather that he was there than not there.
I'm not disagreeing. I would as well, but I think if he got an offer of money for him, I think the club would also take it as well.
Probably right now they would take it, because he's not scoring goals.
We need to start selling players at some point, don't we? Look, just to balance this off, Tam has said, look, the abuse Alfie's getting is out of order. He's still a class player, regardless of missing chances. Correct. So I always like to balance it out. Right now, Gerrard said, William, first half we were excellent. We looked like the old Rangers, but second half we weren't ruthless enough, we weren't urgent enough, there was no intensity. Why then?
We're going half time 1-0 up, and we're sitting back. Did we go 1-0 up against Motherwell as well?
Mm-hmm.
And look what happened in that game. We've done exactly the same. We've just sat back, but I can understand it if we're going in 3-0 up at half time and sitting back, but the first 45 minutes today was absolutely phenomenal. But sitting back and letting Hearts have the ball. I think McGregor made 2 cracking saves. I think the boy Boyce was offside, but he's tried to dink it over him. He's caught it with his hand, and then Barry Mackay's went through. I think Barry Mackay actually, put his hands up because he thought he'd scored.
Barry Mackay should have scored it.
But McGregor saved it with his feet. But I mean, if you look at the Barry Mackay chance, he's by 3 Rangers players to have a shot and goal.
Too easy.
He's been, but Balogun and Golson's no wanted to put a challenge on him because they'd be sent off. That's why he's went right at them. But it's, I don't know, mate. I don't know why we're doing what we do. First 45 minutes was brilliant. We played a high press against them, and we caused them all sorts of problems. All right, we only scored 1 goal, but we had enough chances in the first half to go in 2 or 3-0 up at half time.
I know, like Robert Robertson, it's Gerrard's job to sort that out. Absolutely. But it's our job on this podcast to point it out. So I'm going to point it out here. So why are we not urgent enough? Why is there no enough intensity? Like Robert said there, look, it's Gerrard's job to sort it out. But why are we like that now? What's going on?
I'm sorry if you can hear a hoover and a wife shouting, right? It's happening downstairs.
It's normally my dog anyway, don't worry about it.
I don't know, man. I think maybe the first half we played real well, and the players, I think, we've done real well here. They only scored the 1 goal, so that's a bit of I'm not saying a downer, but maybe I think they should score more. They can mark out just to, no, I don't mean cut the game off, but I think they can mark out just to try and control the game because they've done it in the past, and they think, well, we keep a clean sheet here, we've won, and it doesn't materialise that way. But I think it's a mentality thing. Into last season, we weren't beat all season, so the players were very confident not getting beat. This season, they seem to get edgy near the end of games because they think they might concede here. And it came from a mistake, right enough, but I don't know. I mean, the subs didn't help. I don't know. I think if we get a second goal, we're not talking about it. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes one goal this season is not going to be enough for Rangers like it was last season. We're going to have to go out and start taking our chances and start to bury teams. But because, I mean, like I said, they had 27 shots in goal today.
Mhm.
And that's enough to win a game. Doesn't matter who
Yeah.
you are, it's enough to win a game of football.
Yes.
But don't take our chances. And if you're a team like Hearts who've got not been beat all season, full of confidence, thinking Rangers are only taking our chances here, let's press them for the last 10,
Many
15
shots in
minutes.
Hearts. Many shots in goal did Hearts have on target? Do you know that?
I can
Just
tell
out
you,
of curiosity.
I just looked at Rangers stats.
Listen, we're supposed to be professional and have all the stats in front of us, Keir. You're really fucking making me look stupid.
I'm no Stato, you're the guy that's in the chair, so you get him. I'm just here to talk.
I'm just thinking that what goalkeeper was busy in the second half? Was it Gordon? Was it McGregor?
I think it's probably McGregor, to be fair.
Aye, look, and
That tells you how much
to...
we've been sitting after them then. Because if you look at the first half, we absolutely suffocated them. Then the second half, we've let them come back into the game.
I think we did a lot of the ball in the second half. It just didn't penetrate. We were kind of moving a lot slow. We were just going across the park. We weren't going forward. Do you know what I mean? And when they made the subs, it kind of get worse. And I see Scott Wright getting a lot of dig there, but
we'll come to Scott Wright in a wee
Scott
second.
Wright,
We'll come to that in 2 minutes, Keir, because I know you'll have a wee bit to say on it. But I'll bring this to you first, William. Look, CJ, and we look knackered. We were blown out our pie holes, even though you spelled holes wrong. See, to be fair, in the second half of games, we struggle to keep the ball and control the pace of the game at the tempo that we want to play it. I think that's maybe what CGM means by we look knackered and blown out our pie holes, because maybe the last 15, 20 minutes of that game, we had zero control.
Did we look knackered though? Or was it because we were having misplaced passes about? There was if you look at it, there was hardly any movement. I want to put that down to being knackered, but I think it was down to the substitutes. Taking Hadji and Aribo off was wrong in my opinion. I mean, Hadji was playing absolutely superb. I actually spelled holes correctly.
Sorry, CGM.
We Hadji played absolutely brilliant. But if Gerrard's taking Aribo off because he's on a booking, I mean, there's more, as I said to you earlier on, there's more chance of Balogun or Goldson being sent off than Aribo. But I don't know. It's
a hard one. It's
a very, very tough one. I mean, it was tough to watch. I was saying to the boy next to us, I was like, we need to start getting a grip of these games, particularly the last 15 to 20 minutes. We just need to keep the momentum up. Did we have a later pre-season? Did we keep? I don't know. I'm not going to be shouting the rooftops about Bacuna, but I don't think I've seen him. I don't think he's done anything since he's come on in any of the games. I think he likes to think he's better than probably what he is, or he needs to get to grips with up here. Is it the same Lundstram kind of thing where everybody's writing him? I'm certainly not writing the boy off. But for what I've seen, I've certainly not been impressed with him. I don't know what he was meant to do when he came on today. He's not a
defensive player. He's not being a defensive player. He gets the ball at his feet and likes to go. Fuck, he loses the ball. He's not going to try it back. Whereas when you've got him in the park, he gave the ball away a couple of times. Do you know what I mean? And it put us in the back foot. But when Hadji gives it away, Aribo, I used to criticise Aribo, but he's actually changed the mentality. He gave the ball away a couple of times, but he's now fighting to get it back, and his defensive side of the game's actually improved, Joe Aribo.
I would agree with
and Hadji's coming back and putting digs in. Bacuna doesn't he? And that's the thing I like about Scott Wright. He didn't play great today, Scott Wright, but he comes back in defence and he marks space. So when he's marking space, it makes it difficult for the opposing team to put passes into that area because he's standing and marking that space. Whereas Bacuna doesn't he? So there's big spaces he can pass into through the defenders because he doesn't make contact in the middle of the park. And I don't know if it was just me seeing that, but I thought that's what he was doing today, Bacuna. I thought I was the wrong substitution.
I don't know what Scott Wright brings to the team. I'm going to be honest
with you. Right, we'll come back to that, right? We'll come back to that, William.
I'm just saying what he does off the ball, William. It's on the ball.
No, I know, mate.
I think it's a case that, look, he came on, when we first signed him, he looked all right, William, I would say. He got the ball, he drove with the ball, he looked a bit pacey. But, in fact, you know what? We'll talk about it, right? I didn't want to talk about it, but we'll talk about it. I don't see what Scott Wright brings either, if I'm being brutally honest with you, William.
I genuinely don't see what he brings at all.
Do you know what he reminds me of? Josh Windass.
I do when he hid.
But yeah, I don't see Scott Wright William as somebody who's going to make this Rangers team better.
He's a squad player at best. He's a squad player at best.
The
But
minute Kent's back, he's out the team.
I know.
Aye.
But I'm just saying for defensively today, I thought it was okay because he was coming back in Martin's space, which made it difficult for Hearts to play through. Offensively going forward, he wasn't that great. So that's maybe how he gets subbed. But when you bring on Bakuna, who can't do that side of the game, that's where the space is opened up. But I'm not saying Scott.
Does Sakala not play for Zambia out wide as well?
He does now. They brought Sakala because even when you play a long ball, he'll chase it and run it down, and he'll harry, and he's got a pace to trouble Halkett and Shooter, who aren't the quickest. So I don't know.
I says that to the boy next to the game today as well. Bringing Sakala on today was daft, I think, because the Hearts back line on the quickest. If you're trying to get a second goal.
Right, look, there's a couple of people. Where are we? Thomas H. I like Wright needs some polish though. Where are we? CGM against packed defences. Right, isn't the answer. He might do a job against teams having a go, but not domestically. Right, before we come back to the chat, can I just say for anybody watching on YouTube, please do subscribe. The last I checked, we were 15 away from 3K. And as soon as we get to 3K, I can have a haircut. So please just go on and subscribe for that fact alone. Even if you don't like the content.
Just 14 to let his hair grow.
Aye.
I want to see a booth on.
We are also, of course, on Patreon, patreon.com/Rangers Rabble. Link is in the description. We've got a brand new show starting on Monday, Rangers Rabble Extra. We will go through all the latest Rangers news and discuss everything Rangers, which will only be available on Patreon. So if you want to help us out, support the podcast, please do that. You can see more fights between William and Kerr. That's going to be a weekly thing now. The William versus Kerr podcast. The substitutions and all, Kerr. Lundstram, Davis, Kamara on the pitch at the same time, taking off Hadji and Aribo. For me, it's all good with hindsight, but for me, again, Gerrard got that wrong.
I think you just try to do it then against Hibs and close the game out, but it backfired. When you've got Aribo in the park and Hadji, two of them are actually playing well. You've got an outlet, they hold the ball up, they move it about, they create space and they can create chances. Whereas you bring on Davis, Kamara, and you've got Lundstram there. Apart from Lundstram, the other two just go sideways. Decent players, good players. I mean, they gave us a lot, but we're only 1-0 up, so you want players to create, want players to hold the ball up and keep the ball, which what Aribo does. I mean, one of the boys in the pod calls on Velcro, doesn't he? So, I mean, he never really loses the ball, Joe, and that Hadji's just a magician at times. So, maybe take one of them off, don't take two of them off, it's too disruptive, because then you're forced to sit deeper because of the team midfielders you've got, and that's what happened, and then we start, Hearts see that, so they start pushing up again, and that's like William said, they end up putting the last 50 minutes, Hearts they didn't have a lot of ball as in playing football wise, but they're just going down the wings, playing the long balls, and it was causing problems. Twice they put the ball between the two centre backs, and because Lundstram's been moved out to the side, it wasn't getting covered. The balls through there. Do you know what I mean? So when the first half he was covering there, because if you notice when Balogun, Golson went out or went deep, he went forward, Lundstram must take a step back to cover them, but that wasn't happening. He went out. So I don't know. Maybe Gerrard just thought, let's bring on security and Davis. But it was a wrong substitution. But if McGregor caught the ball or punched it further, or we scored a second goal, we wouldn't be talking about that. But that's football.
But he never, and they did. So we are talking about it.
Yep.
William, the subs are baffling. Hadji or Aribo, I could understand, but not both. Plus, Morelos needed hooked for Sakala.
I said that at the game today, mate. Morelos had to come off for Sakala. It should have been run about the 8th minute. Morelos should have come off. Would Sakala have scored a chance? I don't know. But I would if I was Gerrard, I'd have probably taken off Aribo, which he says earlier on he's on a yellow card, and put Davis on. But I don't know. As Kerr says, Hadji's a wee magician at times. Do you know what I mean? He can just pop a ball over the top of the defence and catch the back line out very, very easily. But I don't know. It's so hindsight anyway. We're all football managers on a podcast. Think we could do stuff right, but Gerrard sees it as he sees it, and he's got to live with his decisions. But let's be honest, he got it completely wrong.
He
There's,
did.
there's no glossing it over. It was wrong, completely wrong.
It was. And look, RFC 56. This is a top class podcast. Love watching every time. Hit the like. People, can I just say for everybody watching, you've got no idea how far a like goes. It's the more likes, the more shares it gets, the more suggested videos it goes into. So please do subscribe, but just as equally as important, like as well. Right. Kerr, I could see that equaliser coming. I think everybody could, as my dog starts to go mental. William, there you go. See, it's not just Hoovers, it's dogs as well. I think everybody could see that equaliser coming. As Phil Collins says, I could feel it coming in the air tonight.
It was, I was just sitting there, and I think this is the Hearts are going to score. I didn't expect them to score the way they did, but you just felt it, didn't you? It was like Motherwell game all over again. You just thought 1-0. We're getting deeper and deeper and deeper. We're not clearing things. We're not holding on to the ball. We just keep giving it away, and we were recycling it for Hearts to get again. And it just got to a stage where we were just thinking, blow that whistle. But the goal came, and as soon as the goal came, we were never going to get a second because we were struggling to get a second the whole of the match. So, and the players had on their part, we weren't going to spring forward and get a second. And look, man, I agree with William earlier when he said if a car was on the park, then even punt it long and he chases it. But with nobody like that in the park, you don't even get anybody to chase things down. So the two centre backs' Hearts are getting the ball and strolling up the halfway line and just picking passes because nobody pressing them.
I think when I don't know if anybody's seen it on Rangers TV, the wee ball boy threw the ball away for the boy Devlin, and Devlin fell when he went to collect it. And I honestly see that when if we're 2 or 3 nothing up, I just thought this better not come back and bite us in the arse. And for the corner, what did they do?
Aye.
The score.
McGregor at fault, William.
100%, mate. 100%. I don't know why he's tried to punch it.
Aye, but before that, obviously, look, he's made a couple of fantastic saves. He's had an okay game.
I said that earlier on for Boyce. I think he was offside at the time, right enough. But he's not, But then the one from what's his name, Mackay. Cracking save with his feet. But you're talking about McGregor and high standards again, and then he just goes and does just something daft. I don't. Why is he not? Is it he's near post? Why is he not trying to just catch it instead of punch it? I mean, it's happened literally 50 feet for me. It's he's. I don't know. And the ball could that any other day of the week. That's it's hit McGregor's horns. It's hit our defender and they booted it away. But it's went right across the face of goal and just landed perfectly. I don't know who it was that scored, the Hearts defender. It just landed perfectly just at his feet.
Halkett, who actually thought a good game, Halkett.
But no, aye, it was McGregor's fault. You can't say it's no.
McGregor's never been the best at cross balls, to be fair, even though he's short stopper, he's world class at times, but cross balls and distribution has never been his best. He's never been
there was an incident in the first half as well where McGregor got an easy back passing on, and instead of going left or right, he, for whatever reason, I think he's tried to pass it back to, was it Balogun or Barisic, and then he's kicked the ball at the park.
Yeah.
I mean,
on Barisic, William, another quiet game for him. Maybe.
Aye, mate. Aye. Again, I was at the game. I was texting my mate, and I was saying, the difference from now and last season when he was taking on a man and beating a man, but now he's when he's getting an opportunity to cross a ball first time, he's stopping it with his right and then crossing it with his left. And I've noticed this season he's actually started putting a ball in with his right more on some occasions. But he's a wee bit different. He was really good against Celtic, the 1-0 game, but the day it was very, very quiet. It was very ineffective. He wasn't putting any telling. Well, I can see that there. Looks off the pace. I agree with that.
Do you go with that, Kerr? Barisic still looks off pace. Since you might as well disagree, since you're disagreeing with everybody today anyway.
He was alright. I've seen him play better, to be fair. I just think Borna, his confidence put into. He always has been a confidence player. And he's another guy, I know I mentioned it before, but he's another guy that misses Ryan Kent, because when Ryan Kent makes runs by him, it gives him an extra wee bit of yard to get the ball in, so it gives him space to cross the ball. So when he's not got him there, he's having to try and think to beat a man. Maybe sometimes you think, I can't beat him.
Sorry.
So he does turn back on his weaker foot and cross it in, and it's not what we need him. We need him to be more direct, and when he's more direct and playing with high confidence, he's a really good fullback. But when he's struggling like that, sometimes you think we need something different here. But I don't know, maybe teams have started to work out how we play, because we don't change it that much. We don't change it up that much. So maybe teams are starting to figure out, if we don't score a second goal, let's press Rangers or let's do something different, because last season we won winning games very comfortable. This season, I know it's different. I don't like looking back, but it seems to be different, and it's for a few different reasons, like I said. But it does seem different. I think maybe we need to change it up ourselves.
Whole team misses Ryan Kent, William. For you,
bold statement. I think the team misses him. I think the team misses a flying fit Ryan Kent, a confident Ryan Kent. I don't know. We were winning games 1-0 when he was in the team, and we're drawing games 1 each when he's out the team. So I don't know. It's a hard one. I would have him in the team over Wright, whether he was fit or no fit, or whether he was in. He's confident or he's not confident. But I just gives Rangers back for last season.
Just gives a bag of cans and Rangers for last season. Thomas, this is my favourite podcast. Thank you very much,
Thomas.
And
cheers, Tom.
Tam 1872. If you can get a Patreon membership for the pod, less than the price of a pint, and it helps support the channel, guys and girls, which is very, very true. I don't know if I ever mentioned the Patreon on here, Kerr.
Don't think so.
I don't think so, man. No.
I've never really mentioned it.
Right, you've mentioned it in the group chat either.
Right, so Kerr, 1 each with Hearts. Obviously they won the day. How are you feeling now about the team going forward? Is it just a case of, look, if we took a chance, it would have been fine, or are you a bit worried?
I'm fine, man. I know I continue to be doing going, but I'm fine. I see enough improvement in the last few performances to what it's been, and I know there's been a few reasons for that, and I know we still get players to come back, like Kane, like Helander and stuff like that. So I see we can get better. We will get better. I'm just hoping it's sooner rather than later.
Do you think the defence is that bad that I don't mean we're not missing Helander, right? But are we missing him?
Aye.
I think we are. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult because Balogun's come in, and for me, he's not really put a foot wrong.
No,
nothing stands out.
Absolutely superb.
Yeah, but I still think Helander's probably our best defender. Golson probably up there, but Golson's head's not been right this season. Helander, I think, just superb. He can pass a ball as well, 30-40 yards. Golson's been missing it this season, but he's just missed a consistency. Balogun's great, but he does make the odd error, but he is great. I just think we're missing consistency over the whole last season with a consistent team. We had any changes this season with a lot of different players, and sometimes that messes the team up. Plus, a lot of players are a year older. We were really missing a lot this season. Scott Arfield, and I just for some reason don't see Scotty coming back. But we miss Scott Arfield's drive. We miss Scott Arfield's drive for the midfield to the front, because he created chances, but he also scored. And that's what I'm missing.
He likes to take a chance.
We've got some absolute honking away fixtures coming up. It's what CGM puts in, William. Are you worried about the form of the team, the way we're playing?
No, I think the thing is, I think we're playing well. It's just we're just not scoring enough goals. It's with enough opportunities. I think Kerr says with 27 shots on goal and 10 in target. That's enough to win 2 or 3 games. It's all hindsight. Mr. Hindsight's the best wee guy in the world. If Morelos scores or Roof scores or we take Balogun scores the one in the first half, we get 2-0 up at half time. I mean, we're all high-fiving each other on this podcast if we've took half the chances that we should have taken. But yeah. I don't think we're playing bad. I think people are maybe getting a wee ants in their pants just now because we're not winning 3 and 4-0. But listen, I said it on my Twitter account 100 times. I don't care how we get 3 points. I really don't. See if it's piss poor football and we win 1-0. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I really don't care. I don't care if Celtic have scored 35 goals and we've scored 10 goals. 3 points is 3 points, and that game should have been wrapped up today.
Yeah. Good. Actually, point, and we're going to finish up on this, but look, if, but maybe. It is, Kerr, it's ifs and buts. But I know I'm trying to defend what you are saying to Andy there, because Andy's, look, he always listens, he always watches, very negative. It is ifs and buts, but are you seeing enough, like William says there, in the performances to say, I mean, that performance today alone, we'll be fine? I'm
seeing enough, Martin, because if we were sitting third or fourth, struggling in games, I'd be worried, but we're still top of the league, not playing well. I know you can turn around and say, well, there's a long way to go, and there still is. And I said to you at the start of the season, if you remember, we're going to be a close season this season. I didn't think we were going to be
right, okay, you got it right. Fucking
I've not got it right. It's only October, but I'm just saying. I just always thought we were going to be close this season, but I still feel we've got enough in our team to go forward. And I'm just hoping come January maybe bring in another one or two, because I think the recruitment side since last season has been poor. I think we brought in players very similar to what we've got, or not any better than what we've got. I think we need to bring in one or two slightly different, or just somebody to shake the place up, because some players can be too comfortable in their positions at times as well.
In what position, Keir?
I don't know. But I would actually like to see another striker, to be honest with you. But somebody totally different.
I would agree with you.
I think we need somebody big and strong. I know that's a kind of what all strike teams are looking for, somebody big and strong, big target man. But we've not got somebody that we can change the way we play. If we're struggling at one each, let's get the ball in the wing and lump into the middle of the box or somebody ahead. We've not got that. I know what we had that, and he wasn't a fan of everybody, but just somebody big and strong that can change the game a bit. I just think we need something totally different. Just somebody to bring, sometimes just bringing somebody in can put other players on their toes more, because I think, well, my position might be a wee bit of a stake here. I think never did anything wrong for me. He wasn't given enough chance, and he scored a few goals, William. For what he didn't do a lot wrong. He maybe was a lot of buddy's favourite, but he didn't do a lot wrong.
No.
He's not having it. William's not having it.
Absolutely no, man. I don't like to slate things up, but Cedric Itten is, pardon the French, fucking guff.
I'm not saying he was great, but he didn't. When he played and he scored, do you know what I mean? And that's what you want for a striker.
But MD could score a fucking header for 2 yards out.
I really struggled today, didn't he?
right. Listen. My dog's gonna have it. It's not. We're going to finish it up. That's 51 minutes for a reaction. That's ridiculous. So we're going to finish it up there. Listen, thank you to every single person in the comments.
I'm going to go down and talk about another 51 minutes to my wife about the game today.
When you're up the stairs in 52 minutes, so she'll be bored.
Well, what games it is.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please do subscribe and get us to that 3,000 mark. Follow us on Twitter at Rangers Rabble, links in description, Facebook. Get involved with our competitions, give to our Just Giving, all that. William, thank you very much for coming on, mate. How did you enjoy it?
It was good, mate. Pretty good. Good, sensible chat.
Even though Kev was trying to bully you?
I don't know, he bullied me. I'm putting in a complaint to the management.
I'm going to the HR department.
Right, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll be back on Tuesday, unless you sign up to our Patreon, which I haven't mentioned yet, so I will. Patreon.com/Rangers Rabble. You get plenty of extra content and you help support the podcast. So thank you for watching. We'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.